Hey guys, Beastyqt here. I'm back with another video. The last time I made a Mech guide was against Protoss, which you can check out on my channel, and I had a little voting that you guys did whether I should make a TvT guide next or TvZ. You guys voted for TvZ, so here it goes. This is a build that I saw from GuMiho the first time. I'm not sure if he made it, but he probably did because the build is a little bit weird, but it transitions well into Mech with a lot of pressure against Zerg, and it's not super common right now, so that's kind of like a thing you can exploit and kind of surprise your opponents. So let's get started into it. So this game I played against TLO on Proxima Station, and you want to start off by building supply depot, kind of standard timing, always wall off against Zerg. Follow it up with gas. So it's a gas first build into barracks, then we see the barracks coming up, and after that you will be making a Reaper to make sure you have all the scouting that you need, and expanding to the natural base as well. Once you do that, the next 100 gas you want to use on the factory and the reactor and the barracks, so you can start making Marines, not Hellions, even though it is a Mech build. So I'll show you guys how to transition with this build, how to execute it, and kind of what I think about it in general. Just have in mind there's many builds you can do if you're going into Mech. So you can do, like, the most popular ones that I would suggest as well are the Reactor Hellions with Ravens, or Medevac Hellback timings, or Cloak Banshees, or whatever you guys prefer. But this, like I said, this build is the build I saw from GuMiho, which is a bit different, but very interesting, and on few maps is very good to abuse the positioning because you're making siege tanks very early on. So after I started the factory, I took the second gas as well, making a Starper right now, and as you can guys see, I'm not making Reactor Hellions, I'm making Reactor Marines with the Widow Mine. Natural is coming up, the Reaper did some harass, you're trying to scout what the Zerg is doing, and from here on out, I will be making Reactor Marines and Widow Mines. And you're actually going to make a lot of Reactor Marines, not just the initial 6 for the medevac drop, but I will continue to make them after that. Now, after making a Widow Mine, you want to deny any overlords with the Marines that you have. So I checked here, have Marines here in position, because you don't want for the Zerg to know what you're doing. The Reaper dies here, gets the info that I need, and after the Widow Mine is done, you want to make siege tanks. So you want to be making 2 to 3 siege tanks, and after the first medevac, you will continue to make more medevacs. You will load up 6 Marines in a Widow Mine, and you will try to put the pressure across the map to the Zerg player. Now, one thing I want to mention is this drop is not supposed to kill, drones. I mean, obviously, if you can kill drones, great. Damage is always damage, right? But the reason why I unload Marines here and just pick off an Overlord is because I'm not relying on this drop to do this insane amounts of damage so I can transition. I'm just trying to do any damage, whether it's to kill a Queen, to kill Lynx, to kill Overlords, drones, anything is fine. I'll pause here for a second. Meanwhile, back at my base, I'm still producing Reactor Marines, still producing siege tanks, and will produce another medevac. So you want to have a total of 3 medevacs, 2 siege tanks, and 8 more Marines to lift up from your main base, followed by this drop right here, and you want to do one big push with those units. Now I'm trying to do some pressure here. Again, I'm not overcommitting. This is not life or death. If I don't do damage now, I'm kind of screwed in this game. Just picking off whatever I can. I try to get an Overlord here. I don't quite get it, and actually I don't return to pick it off. The Widow Mine dies to Banelings, but no harm done. I leave the base here, and I decide to pick off this Overlord really quick. Now we'll wait with these units for the second medevac to finish, because it is a little bit delayed. And as I'm pushing out, you can see that the third CC is going up. I swapped the factory onto the reactor, because if you can look at my mineral count, I actually did a pretty bad job spending in here. But you will have a lot of minerals at this point, and you want to be taking double gas on the natural, making Reactor Hellions, and then following it up with another 2 factories onto the tech lab, so you can make Thors or siege tanks depending what you scout with this big push that you're about to do. So I'm loading up the medevacs, and one of the points on this map that you can abuse really well is right here. If you drop your siege tanks here and then have the Marines cover them from behind, you can even bring an SCV to build a bunker, like in this position. The Zerg will have extremely hard time dealing with it. Now, because TLO scouted the siege tanks, I kind of assumed he would know where the siege tanks would go, which is again this position. So I decided to do something a little bit more random and more off to try to surprise him. So instead of going here, I decided to go into the main base. Behind this, you can see the double factory going up, reactor on the starport going up, and he has no vision of this. And you can see him. Oh, he's attacking his hatch. You can see him that he made more units, and he's trying to kill this as fast as you can. Again, this is, TLO is a pro gamer, so he knows, if I see siege tank this early, the Terran will try to abuse this position. So he tried to kill the rocks as fast as he can. So what I did is I went around it and kind of went for the surprise attack. That's not as good, but I did manage to do quite a bit of damage. Now, once you unload with these 3 medevacs, you want to siege up your siege tanks as fast as you can. Meanwhile, back in my base, I just want to give you guys a little update. I'm making double armory, I'm making engineering bay, and I will start another 2 factories pretty soon, with my third going to land on third CC landing on my third base and instantly grabbing the double gas there as well, so you can start pumping out siege tanks, Thors, +1/+1 for Mech, and so on. Now, as far as the push goes, like I said, the only reason why this push did so well is because he expected me to do it here, and he was kind of caught off guard a little bit. He goes for this huge attack in order to defend it, and I managed to kill quite a lot of units. I'm going to pull up the units lost tab. So you can see, so far I'm trading super efficiently, killing a lot of links, and just forcing a lot of units, which is even more important. If you look at the production tab right now, I'll pause the game, he's making 22 links, and the drone count is pretty equal to mine. So even though the unit count is kind of equal at this point, he did skip a lot of drones in order to make even more units. And if you look at his tech, he still doesn't have a lair, even though his upgrades are quite early, so he has that going for him. There's the factory 4 and 5 going up. Just make a reactor Hellions. Because I just did this attack, this is the point where you want to scout, literally by attacking. So I saw that he has only mass links, and if you look at my vision, I see the Evo chamber. I didn't see a lair on either of the bases. So I know that it's most likely heavy link base play. So at this point I'm producing only Hellions and Thors, because if the Zerg player goes for this many links, they don't really transition into roaches, they just go either mutas or fast hive. So I kind of went and made units that counter that. Now, I'm making use of these medevacs, so I'm doing another drop with Hellions, and just kind of trying to do as much damage as I can, which is something you always want to do, kind of harass the Zerg, keep them in check, not allow them to over-drone or skip tech in order to get Brood Lords or something like that, which is something that the Zerg player will try to do. Now at this point, I did a pretty good job with denying what he's seeing that I'm going for. So if you look at his vision, he actually has no idea I'm going Mech behind this. He did not see anything, and with these 3 links, he goes in, and he sees like 8-9 Marines, and he sees Thors. Now, I'm not sure what he was thinking at this point, because 8 Marines is, or how many is this? 8 Marines is, he doesn't know if I remade them or they're from the attack, but I do see him right now going for a hydra then. And slowly but surely, I want to get my 4th base. I have my upgrades going. 1-1 on Mech is going up, getting blue flame because I did see a lot of links. And this is the point, this push is a little bit awkward because I do want to put pressure on the Zerg, but if he is going for roach hydra, you don't want to be attacking this early. But like I said, because I knew he was going for heavy ling, with this amount of Hellbats, I felt like I could do some kind of push, kind of force the units, and once again scout what he's going for by attacking once again. You can see he's going for pretty much every tech in the book right now. He's going for Hive, Spire, which is 4 Broodlords, and Hydras are just very good units against Mech to kind of hold off early pushes from Mech. And if you end up going Hydras, you can go into Vipers, which Hydra Viper is extremely good against Mech play. Now if you look at my base, I'm making a couple of Liberators, still producing Siege Tank, Hellion. I will start my +2 attack soon, getting my 4th base, and right now I'll focus on the push. If you play on Proxima Station, this is a pretty good spot to siege up your tank, like right here or right here, which is what I go for. He's trying to deny the reinforcements, which is a very good decision, because right now he cannot really deal with the push that I'm doing. And a lot of people will say, watching this, well, when I do this kind of push, this never works out quite like this, because the Zerg will have a bunch of units. And that's exactly true. The thing is, if I saw a bunch of units like pure Hydra or Roach Hydra, like I said, I would have not went for this push. I would have, went back, got my 4th base, more siege tanks, and then pushed at 200 supply while transitioning to Ravens. But because of so many links, I decided to try and punish as best as I can. Now, I do quite a bit of damage. If you look at the units lost count, you saw that from the last time I traded a lot better. And I yet to save my Thors, which are the most expensive units. So the only thing I really traded was the 1 siege tank, the Hellbats, and that's it. I, again, forced him to make a bunch of units, bunch of Hydralisks, bunch of Links, bunch of Banelings, and I just pull back, get more heavy tech units, and I will re-push pretty soon. Let's see my vision here. Oop. I still think it's layered tech, but I do know that every Zerg that plays against Mech, they do rush Hive against Mech players, because they want to either go Broodlords, which is very good against Mech, or they want to go Vipers. This game, TLO goes for Greatest Power, which I'm not sure where it is. Oh, there we go, I'm blind. Tries to do a run by here. He actually gets in, but I don't think he actually kills too much. And if you look at my position, I'm pretty secured here. I don't think I'll be dying against anything soon. And I still see so many links, so many just Zerglings and nothing else. I don't see any kind of pushes from him with Roach Hydra. So I'm assuming at this point that he is going for the Broodlords. I started my Reactor Viking production. And soon enough I will push, because I am close to max, especially with how the game went for me so far, which was nothing but good. Okay, so once again he's going for these Zergling attacks, and when the Zerg goes for this, it kind of tells me, I want to buy as much time, please don't attack me, go back with your army. And it's another tell that the Zerg just wants to go for Broodlords. I do a double scan here to make sure where his army is. I see Broodlords morphing right here, and this is the point where I just want to go for it. I don't want to stop, go back, get more units. I just want to push. My Thors are already transformed to do a single target damage, and here you will see me target firing the Broodlords, with the Thors, while making more Vikings. And I think I should be adding a couple more starports here soon. Another thing you can do is send your Hellbats like this with Medivacs into all the bases, because especially if he's going for Broodlords, he will have a really hard time dealing and defending the harass. So I just kind of push in here. I'm using Hellbats to soak up the Broodlord damage, and just kind of target fire with the Thors into the Broodlords soon, hopefully. Nope. Okay, I guess I'm focused on something else. The reinforcements are rallied all the way, because 3 Broodlords cannot really stop this big of a Mech army. My 3-2 upgrades are going up, making more Vikings, and meanwhile I'd be establishing 5th base. Hellbats are wreaking havoc here, and that's it. Now a couple of points I want to touch on. I know a lot of you guys are having problems with swarm hosts. You can check that out in one of my gameplay videos. I think there's a TvZ that I played against swarm hosts. Whenever you face swarm hosts, try not to sit back. Try to be active on the map and not let the Zerg kind of use swarm hosts from this position into your main base. Try to be active on the map. If the Zerg has swarm hosts and a bunch of Roach Hydras that will defeat your army, then you're kind of messed up somewhere before that, because if the Zerg rushes Swarmos super quick, then you won't be losing straight up engagements. And if you're on the map like here, the Zerg uses locusts on your army, you can pull back and then re-engage once the locusts expire. This guide is primarily for the build order that I find to be pretty good. And another thing I want to mention is you can abuse this build order on Blood Boil. If you siege up on the Zerg's base, I don't know what to call it, natural or third, the natural base that has double gas, you can siege up your tanks underneath. So for example, if the Zerg is spawned in the top left side, you can siege up the tanks top right from the natural with the double gas and kind of kill the base from there. It's very hard for Zerg to defend. Again, it's good for Proxima Station in this position, and if you're playing Odyssey, if the Zerg is spawned in the bottom right position, you can siege up your tanks above the third base, where the gold is. There's that little cliff. You can siege up tanks there and kind of shoot at the Zerg at the bottom, and it's just another position, you know, that you can use it to your advantage. But pretty much every map has like a cute little position like that you can abuse, and that is just very hard for the Zerg to deal with. Now, every guide video from now on, I will be having basically a vote what you guys want to see next. So I will be suggesting 2 next options for the next guides, whether it's a mech guide or a build order guide, in the comments of this video. And the video that has the most likes plus comments, so 1 comment equals 1 like, almost said 1 prayer. I will be doing that guide next. Sorry. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.